Hi everybody, Rob with WePayOffDebt.ca. I hope you're doing well today, and I'm bringing it at you now how to make a budget you'll actually stick to. This is a challenge. This is something that's really important to me, my heart, and I've got a freebie for you at the end, so stick around and make sure you get that. I'm a nerd. For those that don't know, I'm a mathematician. I've been a nerd all my life, and through school I did pretty good. I was blessed to be pretty good at school. And what happened at one point was I was taught what a budget was. I was actually taught what a budget was in class. And what it was at the time, I got really good at it because I'm a nerd and I do good at school. That's what I do. And so what happened was I started making budgets. And as soon as I got out into the real world and started making money, it just seemed none of my budgets worked. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I totally understood the theoretical. I totally understand how it was supposed to work, and it would never work. I was never able to actually do a budget well. And so let me explain why. Some of you have been taught what a budget is well, and this is what I was taught what budget was. What a budget is basically taking an average month, look at the entire year and everything you're going to spend, and if it's a yearly expense, whatever it is, divide by 12, and bam, you've got a monthly expense, right? You've got a monthly bill. And so if you've got a $200 bill that comes once a year, well, 200 divided by 12, that's what your monthly charge for that is. And so you create this income and expenses for everything in your life, and then you proceed to live. And so, for instance, right now it's July, and if you take that average month and you start July with it, guess what? You already know it's wrong. Because July is not an average month. It's a month. It's an actual month as opposed to an average month. Average months don't exist. Okay? In July, it's summer. My kids are out of school, or more specifically, they're in full-time daycare, which means daycare costs are up. Right? Compared to a normal month or a different month, like a September or a February, when they're both when my eldest is in school, it's cheaper. Daycare's cheaper, even a couple $100 cheaper sometimes. And it depends on even holidays and things in there, because that changes the daycare cost as well. We pay by the day. And so the point of this is that when you make an average budget, you go into every month knowing right off the bat that your budget's wrong, and you try to be okay with that, and you try to stick to that. And what is there to stick to? It doesn't make sense. Eventually somebody showed me this, an every dollar budget, and this is the key to make a budget you're actually going to stick to. It both is it's more work than you want to do, but it is less than you're afraid it will be. Trust me, it's really not that much work. What it is you sit down and make a budget for every single month. No, not right all at once. Today, sit down, if it's July, sit down and make a budget for July. Now, preferably you do this before the month begins, have it written down, and what you do is you plan out what money is going to come in July from all sources, and what money is going to go out in July to all sources. And you give every dollar, and this is where the name of it comes from, every dollar a job. Every dollar an assignment, every dollar a mission. And this does a couple things. The psychologicalness of this. When you now go to spend money that's not in your budget, you start thinking, you know what? This dollar had a job, and I'm taking away from its job. So nobody else is going to do this job. Not allowed. Can't do that. So what do you do instead? Something comes up because everybody will say, well, Rob, stuff happens all the time, and my budget, I have to throw my budget out the window because it's garbage now. No. When you make an every dollar budget, when you make a budget for a plan of what's actually going to happen this month, well, guess what? All you have to do is change the budget. So June 30th, you make a budget for July. By July 2nd, something has changed. Some expense, you expected it to be $20 and it came in at $30. Or you expected your income was going to be $500 and you got $700, or whatever. Income changes. Well, something changes. So what do? You update the budget. You actually change it to make sure that for the rest of July, every dollar has a job. Every dollar has an assignment. Every dollar has a mission. And as the month goes on, you change the budget to reflect what the new real world is. Now this sounds like a lot of work, and it's more than sitting down and making a budget and making one budget that's hopefully going to last the entire year and moving on, right? It's more work than that, but it's not nearly as much work as you think. So in our lives right now, for instance, the practical of it, when we make a budget these days, we get it done before the month begins, or the first day or two, the worst case scenario of the month. We get it made, we get it done, and then as things change in the month, if there's a small change, I'm the nerd. My wife, more the free spirit, she doesn't care so much about the small, insignificant details. So if things change a little bit, I'll just go ahead and change it. No worries. If it's under, say, $20, who cares? Like, she doesn't care. She doesn't want to know. On the other hand, if something big happens, so for instance, let's say we budget, like we're trying to sell our old car right now. If we budgeted that we would sell our old car for $1,500, and we actually only get $7 for it. Whoa, that's a massive deal. That's $800 missing. So now what we got to do is we got to change the budget. It was $1,500 there, and that $1,500 was going to be spent. So now we change it to $700, and I need to get rid of all that $800 from our budget. It needs to be cut from somewhere. This is also known as what's called a zero-based budget, because at the end you always have net zero. Income minus the expenses is always zero. And you say, Rob, no, what about savings? It's okay. You plan savings. Savings can be one of your categories, right? It's not that you have to spend everything you make. Like that's not the point. The point is you spend it. You choose where it's going to go. You don't have to spend it on candy or movies or whatever. You spend it on paper. You plan. Maybe that's a better way to put it. It's a spending plan. It's what you're planning to spend over the next month. Okay? So this is the key. When you actually have an every dollar budget, and it'll take you 10 minutes to make. It's really not that difficult. It's also it can take a little bit longer over the course of a year for every dollar budgets, but in a month it's pretty easy because you have a really good idea. If you have a steady job, if you have steady bills, you know pretty much what's going to be coming in this next month, and you know what's coming out next month. You maybe don't know exactly. Some things you'll miss. Our water bill might be $20 more or $50 more than we expect, or $20 less or $50 less, but that's okay. You change those as they happen. So freebie I've got for you is the most basic version of this. It's just a PDF template of how to do an every dollar budget. So head over to the website, enter your email address, you download that PDF template, and that's all you need. A piece of paper will do this, and at the top of the paper, put down how much your income is, and then just one by one, the different expenses that are coming out this month. So I hope that's helpful to you. Please shoot me a message, rob@wepayoffdebt.ca, and let me know how it goes for you, and let me know if I can do anything to help. Thanks so much. Have a good one.